Hello, people of the internet. Bringing some Battlefield 4 gameplay on Rogue Transmission, playing some Conquest, but the gameplay is not the main focus here. I think it's fun to watch and it was fun to play, definitely, but that's not the main focus of this video today. Today, I want to talk about 2013 through gaming and talk about, what'll happen in the future, the near future and maybe a little bit farther off, like 2015, 2016, for gaming and gamers in general. Let's start off with 2013. It was an incredibly fascinating year for gamers because while at the same time I don't think I've played many games that were more enjoyable than this year, at the same time there have just been some horrible games. There have been some truly just excruciatingly painful games to play. I'm trying to remember some that were so bad. NBA Live 14. RIPD the game. The Walking Dead Survival Instinct, Aliens, Colonial Marines. These games were just bad, and for a good few of them, they were in development for a while, which sort of proves the point that development cycles don't just need to last a long time to make a good game, for sure. Although Duke Nukem Forever was also a really good indicator of that, wasn't it? It was really a big sort of definition of, taking more than just a long time to make a game, just also putting a lot of care into it. I mean, it was just some really great games. We got BioShock Infinite, which was probably my favorite shooter from this year. I just really enjoyed it. And while I don't have any gameplay of it here for you, this is all over Battlefield 4, it was truly just an amazing game to play. The story alone was probably enough to earn a high recommendation for me. The Last of Us, which I've gotten a chance to play a good little bit of it. I don't own a PS3, but, going over and hanging out with some friends, you get a chance to play it. And it's just as great, if not better than BioShock. I mean, it's just a great game. There's not really much you can say against it. Without just nitpicking. Splinter Cell Blacklist, which at first I was never thinking was going to be an amazing game, but it really was. It was really just fun to play. It was just really good. Sadly, that was the last game that we've gotten from Tom Clancy before he died. Rest in peace, Tom Clancy. My heart goes out to his family. But I don't think that's the last we've seen of the game with his name on it, especially since there are two games that would have had his name on it originally being developed. See that tank run me over, and then I randomly die. I still don't know what killed me there. I'll figure it out later. But, yeah, Splinter Cell Blacklist was incredible to me. Spies vs. Mercs. It was an incredibly fun mode to play. Although I prefer playing as the Spies, personally. Although who doesn't play Splinter Cell? Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, another game I easily, sort of saw being this by-the-numbers sequel. And it was actually really good. I mean, was it as good as 3? Yeah, sure. Was it better than 3? Nah. It was about as good. It wasn't better than 3. Although I guess that's sort of an eye of the beholder, isn't it? That's really more opinion-based than, fact-based. Injustice Gods Among Us. From NetherRealm Studios, who made the Mortal Kombat games, most notably the remake for Mortal Kombat, which came out not too long ago, that I thoroughly enjoyed when I played it for what it was, an extremely violent, extremely gory game to watch and play. And that's pretty much what it was. It was fun. I had enjoyed it. And I didn't know what to expect from Injustice, because NetherRealm went from making something where you cut people in half with a chainsaw hat to, no you know, ripping Batman's head off in this. I was wondering how well will it work. Surprisingly well. Although maybe that's more just because NetherRealm are geniuses at what they do, and that's making fighting games. And making them with a story that you actually even want to have care about. I mean, most fighting games don't even attempt a story, which is why I commend, you know, Injustice and the Mortal Kombat remake for attempting it and doing it well. Because I actually really like the story to Injustice. Even if I wasn't paying too much attention to it, what I did see of it, I enjoyed. And I thought it was just really fun to see. Trying to think of some more crazy games that I enjoyed this year. You know, DMC Devil May Cry, the Devil May Cry remake that came out in January. You know, unlike movies, you can never tell when a good game and a bad game is truly going to come out. And with movies, it's sort of obvious. You know, January and summer usually give birth to some really crappy movies. I mean, just truly horrible movies that you don't want to watch. But for video games, it's really hard to tell when they make good games and when they make bad games. But January, I guess, gave us a pretty decent one. Because DMC Devil May Cry was a rather fun remake to a series that I already enjoyed a lot. I mean, I really enjoyed the original Devil May Cries, even though they got really silly near the end. They just got really out of control and outrageous. But this game, I guess, both wanted to add more of that outrageousness, but sort of keep it a little lower down, lower toned, so that it didn't overwhelm you like it sort of felt like it did by DMC 3, like Devil May Cry 3. It sort of overwhelmed me a little bit how just insane it was. Spinning keys on your finger, kicking phones off the hook. It's crazy. This game brought it back down just a little bit. Tomb Raider, the Tomb Raider reboot, because we can all admit Tomb Raider needed a reboot. Not from a gameplay perspective, as much as a narrative one. Because it was starting to get really, diluted and just, for a lack of a better term, dumb. I mean, the story was getting really stupid. Like, Lara Croft's mom was a zombie and she had a doppelganger. That point of stupidity that I never would have expected the Tomb Raider to go to. So for the remake, instead of, telling one of the other games, he goes to a prequel. It's like, the whole origin stories that a lot of us love to have. Even though I haven't played too many games with origin stories before Tomb Raider, I quite enjoyed it. It was really fun. This was a good year for games. Of course, the next-gen consoles have come out. While I haven't gotten my hands on them yet, I am patiently awaiting being able to play them and later on own them, so I can bring you guys some great content on Xbox One and PS4. But that'll have to wait for a little while. And, of course, now, how's the future gonna look? How's the future of the gaming industry looking with next-gen consoles, making as much money as they are and being as successful as they are? Sony just selling 1 million units in, I think, the first week. It might have been a shorter time span even. But it's just incredible how gaming has gone from something that maybe a few million people did, and it was really just not all that done, to something that's being done by 2 billion people worldwide, as a core gamer. Not just someone who plays phone games and all of that stuff, but people who play these games, full time, like you and me, if you're watching this, who play like Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, and play Telltale's The Walking Dead, Seasons 1 and 2, and, The Wolf Among Us. These games that are not advertised as heavily, and aren't, making $1 billion in 3 days. Yeah, I don't even have to say the title of the game for you to get that reference, I'm sure. GTA 5. But seriously, I don't know what we can look forward to. Because it's sort of hard to look, from my perspective at least, on how much farther gaming can expand. I mean, of course, there's always room for expansion on any industry, and there's always room to expand for anything in general. But is it really going to come down to, everybody pretty much plays games, like all of these games? Because 2 billion, that's the last number I've heard on that. If my number is wrong, then go ahead and tell me in the comments below what the true number of people who play games full, like, a lot more into it, like me and hopefully you. And even if it's not you, that's cool. But just how many more people are going to join in? How much more can we really get out of it? Because, I mean, next-gen consoles look amazing, but I just don't know how much more we can squeeze out of a next-generation console. Like, what are we going to do with the PS5, or the Xbox 123, or the Xbox ABC, or whatever god-awful name Microsoft decides to use to market their next console. Now, that's a completely different argument than the naming of that console. But quite simply, I just feel that, gaming is just going to keep going farther and farther up. I think the gaming industry as a whole has taken its punches when it needed to, and it's done taking those punches. I think we're finally getting to a point with games like Gone Home that came out this year, Journey from last year, Flower from, I can't even remember how many years back. Might have been 2 or 3, maybe more. But, gaming is not just, you're playing a game where you kill people and you murder millions of people and just, you save princesses from towers. Gaming is evolving, where we can tell stories much better than we ever could in the past. We're starting to get into storytelling that's more movie-ish. It's more movie-esque storytelling, and book-esque storytelling even, to a certain point. To certain games, like Telltale's The Walking Dead, I mean, that was like a book. I was there for the story. I was not there for any other thing. I was just there for the narrative, and whatever on earth was actually going on with that story, that's what they had me in there for all 5 episodes of the first season. And I can't wait to pick up, the second season, but I'm waiting just a little bit for a couple more episodes to come out, because I can't purchase 1 episode at a time. It's, something in my brain. Playing The Wolf Among Us and stuff like this. It's not Call of Duty or Battlefield by far. And I think that's great that they're being so successful making these games that are so different. I mean, we're going to move further and further into it, where at least most games are going to be able to tell stories as well as Telltale has been able to do it, or Naughty Dog, or Irrational Games, because I consider the narrative to BioShock Infinite to be, immensely entertaining and just extremely well told and well written. I just feel that maybe it's not time to just say, okay, this is as far as we can go, this is as big as we can get, this is as good as we can get. Then instead say, how much better can we get? How much bigger can we get? How much bolder can we get? How much stronger can we get? And maybe the most important question, how much more fun we can get? Because, everybody likes to play Battlefield, or at least most of us. Everybody likes to play Call of Duty, or at least most of us. A lot of us like to hate on Call of Duty. I've even done it on a few of the, key releases in the franchise that I didn't particularly like. But when it comes down to it, really, we just got a great future to look ahead of us in the gaming industry. I'm excited to see what, any of the publishers and developers do. Especially Ubisoft as of late, with The Crew and, Tom Clancy's The Division, and so many of these other games. that just really have me just excited to the core to see what they do with these games. Yeah, no, I know I was caught just as much on surprise as you were when I saw a tank riding on top of the satellite. You know, the giant satellite dish. I was surprised. But anyway, I just find it different to not look ahead and just smile and just be happy. I find it almost impossible to not just want to smile and be happy whenever I see the games that have been announced. When I think of what games could possibly be announced, when I think of what the big three main console makers have in store for us, and what all of these publishers and developers might just have in store for us to be able to play and enjoy. I mean, just nothing gets me as excited as being able to see what they could do for us and what we're going to be able to enjoy. Maybe that's just me. Maybe some of you guys are just like, I just want my Call of Duty. I just want my Battlefield. But whatever the case is, whatever you want, I guarantee you, the gaming industry probably won't disappoint you. I mean, if you just want shooters, then honestly, that's not going to be a trend that dies anytime soon. At least I wouldn't hope so, because they're still pretty fun to play. You know? But at the same time, I'm sort of wondering, how can we progress? Can we get more artistic with the way we make our games, or are we just going to stay more, you know, violent and just making games where we attack people? I think we're going to be becoming more of an art form. As many people have argued, gaming is an art form. And I'm not going to get into that argument too much, so don't worry if you don't want to hear that argument, but I mean, it truly is a beautiful art form. When you see some of the games that they've made, as of late even, you know, Gone Home and Journey, it's sort of an art form in itself, in the way that it's being made and just the way that we're playing it and enjoying them. You know, it's really just sort of an art form, and I think that's where this industry is going. That's all I've got for you guys today. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you like what I'm doing so far with the channel, go ahead and hit that beautiful looking subscribe button. And if you are already subscribed, then, you know, nice to see you here. If you're going to subscribe soon, then you're welcome at any time. I accept any gamer here. And, you know, I hope you guys all have a great day. I hope you guys are just enjoying, hope you guys have enjoyed New Year's and Christmas and all these beautiful holidays. And as always, you're welcome back anytime here at Club Celtic.